Hello everybody, Lord Almighty here. Today is Saturday, April 23rd, 2016, and I am here at a pond that I found on Google Earth, seeing if I can find a hidden gem in the wilds of New Jersey. I actually looked up the assessment record for this parcel of land. I saw it was owned by the county, so I think I'm good to go. I know there's some private businesses nearby, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that I'm good to go unless somebody with some kind of uniform tells me otherwise. The first thing I saw when I walked up here was a couple of small bass in the shallows, which is always good. And I also saw some bluegill, which means that's probably one of the main forage species in this pond. And that's why I've chosen this particular color of spinnerbait to start off with. It's got the green, the purple, and the white, which kind of looks like a bluegill. So hopefully the bass will recognize it as food and come a-running. Well, I am seeing just a ton of small bass. I've only been here about 5 minutes, and I've already seen like a dozen swim past me. And they're all really small. I mean, they're like, 3 to 4 inches. But that's a really good sign, because usually where there are small bass, there are also big bass. Getting a little bit of a drizzle now. Storm should have moved out of here last night. I guess this is just the back end of the front that came through. Okay, well, I was getting absolutely zero love on the spinnerbait. So here, as the rain starts to fall a little bit harder, I switched over to this white grub on a 1/4 ounce jig head. Hopefully that'll turn something up at least. If not a bass, maybe like a big sunfish or a big perch or something. At this point, I just want to confirm that the fish in this pond are actually catchable. Well, there we go. They're catchable, but they're not very big. I'm going to look at this fish. Light colored, a little on the scrawny side. Alright, so I'm on my second lure change now. I switched over to this lipless crankbait. It's a great search bait, especially for spring, really any time of the year. So far, I just haven't been able to put it together. I have seen a ton of fish, and based on where this pond is located, I know not a lot of people fish it. So I'm kind of flummoxed as to why I'm not doing better. I mean, I know I suck terribly, but never once did I imagine that I could fail to put anything together in a pond that is clearly loaded with fish. Oh, that was a hit. Finally, some action. Oh, there's one. About time. He's not big, but he's not one of those dinks I've been seeing either. Oh my goodness, look at this. He's no dink. He is a monster sunfish. Look at the size of this thing. That is a huge sunfish. I can't even get my fingers around him. Good night. Look at that. That thing's got to be pushing a pound. Absolute toad of a sunfish. That big sunfish gave me a bit of a renewed sense of hope, even though that's not what I was after. If a sunfish can achieve lunker status in this pond, then that means that it is very likely bass can as well. So I feel like now it's only a matter of time before I hook something decent. Oh, someone lost their boxer shorts. Maybe some skinny dippers came down here one hot summer evening. Who knows what goes on in the backwoods of Jersey? Okay, well, I got no more bites on that lipless crank since I caught the sunfish equivalent of Dwayne Johnson. So I switched over to this white buzzbait, see if I can get some topwater action. Now that might seem like a desperation move, but in actuality the water is definitely warm enough for fish to be active on topwater. And with the water as clear as it is, fish will be able to home in on this bait from several feet deep. So this could be the answer. Who knows? I'm willing to try just about anything at this point. Okay, well, something interesting just happened. As I was bringing in that buzzbait, I had a decent bass follow it in. He was maybe about 2 pounds or so. But that is the biggest bass I've seen all day, so that means that we could get some action on topwaters. But he wasn't committed to the buzzbait, so I decided to switch over to this topwater plug. This is a spit and image. So maybe this slower moving bait will elicit a strike instead of just a follow. Oof! He caught me totally by surprise. Totally by surprise. Let's see if he'll come back and hit it again. He unloaded on this thing. I don't know how he didn't hook up. There's a fish. Little tiny guy. Yeah, I'm just taking him water skiing at this point. Another little dink bass. He's not much bigger than the lure is. Look at that. Where's your grandma? Tell her I'd like to see her. Ooh. Ooh! We got a customer out there. That almost looked like another one of those big sunfish. Oh, he missed it again. There's a fish. Oh, he came off. Oh my God. He was on and he came off. Damn it. Boy, I have just been getting some explosions on this bait. Oh, there he is again. There we go. That's a smaller fish. That wasn't the same fish I missed. It's amazing. I'm hooking up on the tiny fish, but the big fish are just missing it clean. I don't understand why. Weird. Oh, look at this. Here's some evidence that other people do fish this pond. Square bill crawfish color crankbait. I wonder if there are crawfish in here. There probably are. I mean, those things are everywhere. But as far as this lure is concerned, finders keepers. Oh, he came off. Oh my God. I can't believe this. These fish are destroying this bait, and they're not hooking up. There he is, finally hooked up. Whew. Oh, wow. Well, he's not that big, but he's certainly bigger than the bass I've been catching so far. And finally, man, I have missed so many strikes on this bait, and finally, one ate it. He's not even a pound, but damn, I'll take him. He was mad. There he is. Oh, I barely saw him hit that. Ah, look, he just kind of rolled on it, and I caught him in the gill plate. Yeah, I know. Oh, hook popped right out. Little tiny guy. Well, not as tiny as some of the ones I've caught today, but he ain't big, that's for sure. I see a log down in the water right here. It's really the only structure I've seen all day. This pond is pretty devoid of any real features. Weed growth, I'd say, is minimal. And there's really no laydowns, no rock piles or anything like that, so it's pretty much just a big bowl. Oh, there's one. That's a decent fish. Right off that log. Oh, he's a giant. Oh my goodness. There's a big fish. Get up here. Yes! Ha ha! Look at that. Got the one piece of structure that I found. This fish was on it. Wow. Wow, look at that. That's got to be a 4-pounder at least. All right. That made this trip worth it. There she goes. Whew! All right. After the clouds started moving out and the sun started coming out more and more, the topwater bite pretty much died off. So I switched back to this lipless crankbait because I had had a couple of hits on that before. And as soon as I brought it by the end of this log, man, that rod just loaded up. God, that was a great fish. Well worth the long walk it took to get here. There's another one. He's not as big, but he was sitting around that log too. When you find an isolated piece of cover, you want to make sure you work it, because there could be multiple fish around it, especially in a case like this where there's not much cover to be had. Okay, well, I have worked around this whole pond, so I think I'm going to call it a day. It was an interesting day to say the least. It started out really sketchy. I thought maybe I had found a pond that just wasn't going to work out. There was actually a point where I almost thought about just bagging it and calling it quits, but I stuck with it, found a pattern, caught a handful of small fish, and then, boy, that 4-pounder, man, what a great payoff that was for a long day of fishing. So anyway, this pond I found just on Google Earth. I was bored at work one day, I hopped on Google Earth, and I just started looking around. And I found this place, I researched it, made sure it was public, and then here we are. I just had a really, really good day of fishing. So that's something anybody can do. You can hop on the internet, you can hop on Google Earth on your iPad, iPod, iPhone, whatever you use anymore for your computing, and you can go out and you can find your honey hole, because there are places like this all over the state of New Jersey and all over the country. So thank you all for joining me today at my new honey hole, and I will see you on the next adventure. Well, here's a little bonus nature footage for you guys. Walking back out to the car, I stumbled on this little guy. I guess he's just hanging out trying to get warm. I don't know what kind of snake that is, but I know what the 4 poisonous snakes that are found in the United States look like, and this isn't either of them, so I don't think I'm in any real danger right now. You see, you never know what you're going to see when you go fishing. That's one of the reasons why I always keep coming back.